My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon, the Crimson Court DLC. You might be wondering, Rhapsody, why are we starting on this screen? We're going to be restarting our estate. We're on week 19 of Darkest Raptopia. Yes, week 19. We've already lost 4 people, and we're very directionless. A large amount of the problem that we currently have in our build is, since we did the Courtyard quest, that is the Courtyard quest that has the crocodile in it, so early, we infected all of the other regions with the Bloodsuckers and incurred a lot of Crimson Curse on a lot of our different characters. And we will not be able to keep up with the amount of Crimson Curse that we have, unless, of course, I now just let a bunch of level 3s and level 2s go, which is just going to waste a bunch of my time. I'm under a time limit and a death limit in Blood Moon. So I can't really afford to be doing things like that. I can't afford to make those mistakes, especially in the early game that's supposed to be setting me up for a stronger late game. So what I went through and did is I watched a large amount of the critical moments in previous episodes. I also went and I did a bunch of reading about the game. I did a bunch of reading about strategies for the game. I watched a hell of a lot of different streamers, primarily Filthy Robot, who's incredibly thoughtful in the way that he plays and has helped a lot. Basically, I did the thing that I like to do eventually when I get sick of sucking at a game. That's not to say that I super suck at this game. 109 episodes in the past, I would have said that. But I'm definitely rusty, and I've definitely got poor valuations of things. For example, I wrote up a list of things that I saw in my own gameplay that other people have almost certainly seen as well, that I think that I should do, or rather should focus on doing better in the new estate. Choose Blood Moon, of course. So, poor target prioritization. I would target the incorrect mobs to die first, or I would split damage in such a way that would result in leaving a lot of people up for a very long period of time, rather than focusing on just chunking 2 specifically important targets down and leaving the rest. Sometimes that's just the way that you want to do it. Also, of course, that's going to lower the amount of overall HP and especially stress damage, because typically you're targeting the stress dealers in the back. Underutilization of stuns. I did use stun a little bit in a couple of my parties, but a lot of the time it was on the characters who really shouldn't have been doing the stunning. Like the Vestal was doing a lot of my stunning. The Vestal should be doing all of the healing, because the Vestal is ridiculously OP in those terms at the very least. But I had the Vestal doing a lot of stunning when people were still missing health. I've got to start thinking about the missing health before everyone gets to 50%. I'm like, oh shit, now I need to heal. No, heal them when they lose 2 health. Make sure they're in a reasonable position, because you never know when they're going to get crit down to 0. Poor character valuations. I'd take character classes that I really shouldn't have had in builds, and I wouldn't take character classes that I definitely should have constantly taken. For example, although I think I only ever got offered like 1 Houndmaster, I should have taken every fucking Houndmaster that was offered to me, because they're incredibly versatile. However, on the offhand, I took 2 Lepers, and those are really inflexible, and as a result, not a particularly powerful character class in most people's opinion. Lack of thoughtful Hamlet upgrade ordering, specifically in that I didn't really upgrade enough along the line of the wagon so that I would have a large enough roster in order to juggle a bunch of different teams up to level 2. Instead, I have a bunch of people on level 0 and a bunch of people on level 3. That's not gonna help. General inattentiveness. Yeah, that'll happen. I'll try and focus as much as I can on that, but that's not a strategic flaw as much as it's a flaw in my personality. Improper focus on aspects of character progression. This is more along the lines of, like, a character like the Plague Doctor, who's dealing a lot of blight. He's already really fast, so upgrading his weapon in order to increase his crit chance by 0.5% and his speed by 1 isn't as important as it is on a Hellion, who is doing almost all of her damage by standard hits that just roll her weapon damage. So those are the kinds of things that I should think about more heavily in respect to that. That's also going to help me preserve a lot of my money that I was not able to do prior. Low concern for stress and HP damage and recovery. Now, this is something I used to do a lot better, but Rust has simply taken it away from me. Basically, trying to eke out every single different point of self-heal and self-stress recovery that I can in battle by extending battles right up until the point at which they would be considered stalling. I'm relatively familiar with those mechanics, but of course, that's something that will become more acute over time. Lazy misuse of the torchlight mechanic. For example, if I'm about to loot something at the end of a dungeon, just turn the light out, then loot the thing. Get the plus loot. Obviously. But even more advanced strategic strategies, like going down to the end of something that you, like an end of a prong that you know you're gonna have to backtrack through, just leaving all the curios on the way. Because you're gonna have to come back and you can just turn out the light, because you're not gonna have fights there unless a random fight spawns, but you'll be aware of that. And also poor loot prioritization. That's mainly in that I spent a lot of time going, ooh, yes, no, I should definitely get this heirloom and this heirloom and this heirloom, and neglected money. And then when I needed money, I did the inverse and neglected all heirlooms. I actually spent a lot more of my time going, okay, wait, am I going to need this stack of food, this stack of torches, this stack of keys even? Sometimes that's not necessary. So, the darkest Raptopia the second. I never said I was a thoughtful clever man. The first 2 weeks are very formulaic, so I'll try and knock those down as quickly as I possibly can. Well, I mean, the first week is incredibly formulaic.
Brigands have run up these lanes.
Alright. Get him, get him, get him! Woo! Surprise round. Don't mind if I do.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of.
He's got a 75% chance to resist my stun. If I go for the hit, there's a chance that I don't even prevent him from dying. Sorry, I don't even kill him, rather. I need to do 9 damage, which is the average amount of damage. I think I'll actually roll the stun. I think more of the time this will result in me not taking damage. This is the kind of thing that I need to be thinking about. Okay, yeah, you're already gonna bleed out. So I'm actually just gonna buff the torchlight.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
No damage taken. I'm not gonna incur 100 stress immediately. 9 Dunker.
An ambush. Send these vermin.
Oh, come on! They surprised us in Radiant Light. That's just frustrating.
Is no longer welcome.
So, huge part of what you're supposed to do in the opener here is try and have the Brigand Bloodletter at the very front die to his bleed so that he doesn't leave a corpse, so that you can get the other one to come to the front earlier. A large amount of that will just be chunking the damage in. So we'll try and get on board with that. 14, okay, so I guess 12 in a single shot, that's really unlikely.
The will to fight falters.
Yeah, roll 7. The annoying thing about that... Nice point blank. The most annoying thing here is now I only want to deal 1 damage to him, so... I'll do the tracking shot so that I get the buff over the rest of the battle.
Weakened.
I'll move myself slightly forward.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Damn it. Nice dodge. Don't want to get on death's door just because I'll incur a lot of stress as a result. Stun or hit? It's gonna be stun. God damn it! Never mind. It ended well.
Hope blossoms.
Not horrible loot. Only if I ended up getting a key somehow would I open that trap chest. Okay. Quick draw, pretty good. Fear of Beast won't come into play for a while, but as soon as it will come into play, I'll remove that.
Such as it is, this squalid hamlet These corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Okay, so Kanta has
Men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
really unfortunately is missing both of his stuns. Stop talking, Wayne! Really unfortunately is missing both of his stuns and the frontline Noxious Blast. I'd fix that if I could, but I can't, so I shan't. We've got Divine Grace, we've got Dazzling Light. If I move forward, I'd be able to use Illumination, but I'm never going to use Illumination, so there's no need for me to move forward. Quick Reflexes. Actually, I kind of like slower Vestals, so that's not that great. What do we got here? Protection Stone, fine. Alright, I'll increase your Blight chance. Unfortunately, it's also going to lower your speed. But getting closer to guaranteeing your Blight is going to be important.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
And then 8 of those. That's enough for this dungeon, which also is specifically laid out to a formula. So now I've mostly just got to decide whether or not I'm going to want to do the entire dungeon.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Because it is only explore 90% of rooms, so I don't have to do it all. How dare you fucking surprise me? Rude as hell. Alright, stun. Very, very nice. I've no stress recovery in the party at all, so... yeah, and that's not really going to work at all. So now I pretty much just want to try and roll crits. Nice. Because that's all he's going to be able to do in terms of giving us stress recovery. And then read them their rights. Nice.
Give them no quarter.
They miss a turn, they have low speed. Look, there's a couple other characters that are probably going to act first, so again, I'll try and roll for a crit. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Alright, fine, take him out.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
So a lot of my consideration has got to be, am I going to come back through this room? Because then I can come back through low light. I'm not going to be coming back through this room, so I'll just open it now. There's an extra shovel. That one seems to very, very often give you a shovel, so maybe I want to consider running this dungeon typically with one fewer shovels than I think is actually necessary. Stop surprising me in Radiant Light! It's not okay! Immediately, all of my damage needs to go to the back line to kill this Cultist Acolyte. You actually have Mace Bash, so you're not in a horrible position to be standing there. I'm very likely to kill this Bone Rabble in a single hit, so I'll do so. That's unfortunate. We want to try and minimize as many times as the Cultist Acolyte has the ability to use that ability. Unfortunately, possibly because of the Blightstone, she was able to act before I was. Rough crit. Okay, you're dead to your DOT, so I'll leave you.
Gently. This is how
9 maximum damage, pretty good. Nice crits. A little bit of stress recovery, a little bit of healing. Really hoping the friend, oh buddy, oh guy, oh pal here would have acted first. Oh well.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Can we not get surprised by every fucking battle despite having Radiant Light? The whole point of having Radiant Light is so you don't get surprised. Dude, come on. Alright. Thank you for not triggering Kleptomania, but that's also not really that good of a result.
Paid for in blood.
Give me a surprise round. Here we go. Thank you! Yee! Okay. Pop that blight on them. Even if I stun them, they were getting another turn. Yikes. Alright, fine. Please don't screw this up. Jesus. Low chance kills. Alright. You should heal yourself. Bone Arbalist is now down. Beautiful. Do I want to try and slice this guy open? I can roll for higher crit versus lower damage. No. Roll for the damage.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Damn it, Graveyard Slash. Thank you for not critting me. Damn it, Graveyard Slash. Thank you for not critting me. Alright, low roll will kill. So we'll go for that one.
Decimated.
Rather than risking leaving this guy on just a little bit of HP. So we'll get a couple of actions before he next has his. You should be able to heal. Because the Plague Doctor should get a turn before he does. Plague Doctor does and finishes the job off.
Maintain the offensive.
Thankfully, we're going to be able to get the stress recovery from this quite easily. Ah, nice scouting. That's actually a really good scout so that I don't have to worry about the trap. Okay, so if I go there, then I can go up and then... Alright. This will be the least backtracking so that I can visit every room. If I didn't want to visit every room and I wanted to do a little backtracking as well, but I wanted to increase my rolls on loot tables by dousing the light, I would go here and then turn off the lights and go backwards.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, thank you for the key. Not necessary, but thank you for the key. Don't surprise me. Don't surprise me. Hey, that's a good surprise. All right. Oh, beautiful.
Executed.
Okay, you... We'll try and eke it out later, so just go for the stuns. Oh, never mind. Can we not have him resist every fucking stun? Please.
The slow death. Unforeseen.
That's a... Both of those were a 75, just in case you're wondering. Each of those individually was a 75, and he 25'd his way through both of them. That one was rolled specifically with a higher crit chance in mind. I'm not going to be able to take you out. Follow-up would probably be AoE from the Crusader. Crusader's running on 1 speed, so he's likely to go slower than Bone Soldier. I'll still do this. This does give me the ability to kill it with the Vestal, but that wasn't a consideration, because that would only be a consideration if I high-rolled with the Jester, rather, the Plague Doctor. I didn't know that that was going to happen. Alright, let's stun you and use a turn of recovery here. That'll save us 4 health. Nice! Is he gonna die to his dot? He doesn't have a dot. God damn it. Alright, I'm gonna have to finish this one manually then.
Can be healed, but never hidden.
If he was gonna die to his dot, I actually could have left him for another turn, because it wouldn't have been considered stalling.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I have so many keys that I'll roll a key.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Okay, that's really good. Seer Stone. Fuck yes. Plus 20% scouting chance, -1 speed. Especially considering I'm often going to be running a Vestal. That is going to be really good for me. Okay, you've only got 1 stress. If you had more stress, I might duck into this area to pick up that trap. Okay, how many torches do I have? I got a fair amount.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
So the thing is, I know I don't have a battle until I get into this room. Oh, nice. We still got the scout. No, we're not going to return to the hamlet because I specifically provisioned for coming down here.
Terrors may indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
So now we'll go back to full light. I'll have you heal as much as you can. This fight is actually going to be a little bit annoying. Not very, but a little. It's just the courtier that's a problem. Yikes. Good dodge, though. Yeah. Even though he's already acted... Damn it. Bad that missed. Alright. Stun this guy. Plague up that back line. But the problem is now... the Bone Courtier is still going to get another move. If I got the stun, he wouldn't have gotten another move because he would have taken one hit of the dot off the next turn for the stun, and then the next tick would have killed them. So that's no actions remaining. Unfortunately, unless someone rolls high enough to go before the Bone Courtier here. Oh, stun? Hey, beautiful. He doesn't get anything here. Unfortunately, the Bone Arbalist still gets another turn, because that was the lowest roll I could have had. So, I'm going to have to manually prevent him from getting another turn. The Bone Soldier has increased stun resistance, because I stunned him last turn, and he hadn't acted yet this turn. So the only stun I was going to be able to get was on the Bone Defender. 4 damage. It's 4 more damage than it would have done otherwise. Alright. Roll the Open Vein, because it had a lot of a chance there to kill. Damn it. Don't crit. Thank you.
A death by inches.
I mean, I could start using the self-heals, but... honestly, the only reason I'd care to self-heal right now is... so that I could possibly crit. But, you know, why not just try and possibly crit on a offensive attack here? Obviously, only because this is the last fight. Is that an actual consideration either way? Hey, still managed to stun despite 65% chance not to. Alright. Thank you for that.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Turn off the light before I loot in order to get extra loot. Nice. Let's get out of here. Okay, second mission done. Eagle Eye, extra crit on range skills. That's actually quite good on you. A Blutomania can obsess with cleanliness. There's like 3 things that triggers. Willed Scrounger, I mean, any Scrounger or any Scouter.
We dug for months, years, an eternity, and we were rewarded with madness.
Okay, well, I don't want any of those Crusaders there.
Battle, pious and unrelenting.
I don't need to upgrade the size of the hero barracks right now, but that is very soon going to be a concern of mine. Eldritch Killing Incense for the Occultist only, especially in the early game, that's quite reasonable. Drifter's Buckle, just extra dodge, lower stress heal, not horrible. Especially if I'm going to be running a Highwayman early. Heavy Boots, yeah, negative speed is not really something I want. Youth Chalice, also not something I want. Actually, primarily for the fact that I'm going to get the deeds from this, and also basically free dodge. I'll take the Drifter's Buckle. Do I want to run with this exact party again? Blutomania Stress Eater. Beastsayer Slugger. In town will never drink, and you're an early riser. As soon as I get to refactor your abilities, Courtney, we're going to be in a great position. But because I can't so far, maybe I don't run you. Alternatively, I can use Abyssal, Demon's Pull to pull out of position, Word Reconstruction. Yeah, I can take you. It's also worth not over-leveling my healers. I want my healers in general to kind of be around the same level. This will also modify the amount of damage I can do the backline to try and help out the Plague Doctor, who's just not doing enough to take out the stress dealers before they deal their first round. 2 shovels for safety, 2 skeleton keys, 1 medicinal herb. We're in a short, so I'll only take 8. None of you is a stress eater, right? No. Kleptomania, I do want to cure soon, but I have no option to do so right now. Take 8 torches. That was exactly enough last time. Beautiful. Another thing that I was doing was over-provisioning. But I didn't think that was as key to my descent as a lot of the other factors I mentioned. Also, good lord, nothing puts it in more perspective than to write a list of these are all the things I fucked. Oh, that's a long list.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign. Ancient traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
Kleptomania. Couldn't have stopped him doing that if I tried, and I did try. Alright. Unfortunately, I forgot to put the scouting stone on character, so that's just really fucking dumb of me. Early in the game, I don't think about trinkets that often because you typically don't have good trinkets for quite a while. But we have a really good trinket that I just left in base.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
I wasn't expecting that to high roll for a kill. I was expecting that to low roll and then the dot to finish the character off. Yeah, Incision isn't even going to get close enough. So the Born Courtier still gets 1 more action. Unless someone acts before him in the next round. That seems unlikely to me. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the final action you get off, but still kind of rough that I've let you get that much stress on a character this early. Nice heal. Hit the bleed, but it still works. Neither of those is going to kill, so a secondary hit is going to be necessary, so 1 damage is less important. So instead, I'll roll for the higher crit chance to try and get the stress relief.
Confidence surges.
Beautiful.
As the enemy crumbles.
Stun him. I could get 10 torchlight out of trying to force a... Wait a second, what has the higher crit mod? Crit mod 5, crit mod 5. Okay, I'll just try and pull you.
Give them no quarter.
That was pretty much to just try and roll for a crit. Okay. This is just going to be another incision, and... Swing for the hills. Beautiful.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I don't need that plus dodge on my character right now. Or I don't need to lower my dodge on my characters right now. Ooh, critical scouting. Nice. Okay. Let's try and map this out in our head. How am I going to go about this? Because I have to go up one of these prongs and then come way, way back down. So... I think the best way for me to do this, trying to gather as many things as possible, is going to be to loop around in this direction, go up, and then I retreat through 3 hallways that I've already done. Right? I can also go up, then back down, then just loop up there. That ignores this room, because I can ignore one room I'm scouting. And allows me to pop my head out in order to go to there, but I missed this curio in this battle. But I'm going to be missing a curio in a battle anyway. That means I only have to do 2 rows of backtracking. Okay, that's correct then. That means I'm not revisiting this place, so I'll try and roll an anti-venom on this. Because if it was a trapped chest, which we wouldn't know from the outside, the anti-venom would have opened it, and anti-venom doesn't open anything else in this entire area. So if you can get something with an anti-venom, it's good to get something with an anti-venom.
Brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay, well I have 2 holy waters, so I'm more than happy to use that. Nice. Oh, it's just bone rabble. Beautiful. 3, 3, 5. Pretty much any hit would have gotten a kill there, so... I should have hit the one in the front row, because I know for a fact that I could have used the bullet for the second row to try and get crit. That would have been correct.
Falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Okay. So... from now until the room battle at the very top... Whew, the scouting, though. I don't want to loot anything. Figured the hunger was coming sooner rather than later. Okay, I don't want to be surprised in the room battle, so we'll go in with a full torch. Yeah, it is really... Oh, it's so important we just got that. Okay. Sky slaps. Not enough damage, unfortunately. You're gonna have to stun this guy. Good stun. Good blights. Okay, I can prevent Bone Courtier from getting a turn if I shoot. Gonna have to do that. If I low-rolled that shot and got 4 damage, it would have been necessary to have the blight on him. But regardless, I was gonna be blighting anyway because of the Cultist Acolyte. Where do you want him to go? Front line or back line? Jeez, make up your mind. Ah! Well, thankfully she's only been doing pulls and pushes rather than anything a little more insidious. Actually gonna roll a stun here. We'll lower my torchlight, but feel like that's gonna be important. Ugh, increased stress as well, yikes.
And panic.
Okay, you're already dead, you just don't know it yet. Nice incision. Yeah, I'd still have to medium roll on that, so actually just finish you off. Rather than try anything fancier than that. Nothing better I can do than just shoot you. Hand from Abyss, I mean, I still have a reasonable chance to stun you, but I should do a heal here. Yeah, worth having done. That's a high roll on a Vestal.
This is how a life is taken.
Got him. Alright, resort our party, and...
So too will resistance.
Okay, do I want to use a shovel or a key here? What I want to use is nothing right now, because I have to come back for it. Okay. Kleptomania is going to have a chance to trigger every time I walk past this, so since it hasn't triggered this time, I'm actually going to turn the light out prematurely and then open it.
But yonder, a glint of gold.
Obviously, it didn't pay off just there, but that's still the correct way in which to handle that. Now, I can open this curio with either a shovel or a key, and I know that I'm not going to need a bunch of shovels. Whew, man. I know that I'm not going to need a bunch of shovels for obstacles because I've scouted the majority, but I still might need a key for one of these obstacles, and also that might be a treasure room where I need a key, so I'll use a shovel here instead. But not without destroying some contents, unfortunately.
For a task well performed.
Okay, salvage the unburnt torch. Oh, whoa, whoa. Lower dodge, extra damage. Who has no dodge? You have 5, you have 10, you have 5, you have 10. I mean, should still put it on you then. We'll go all the way up to this curio before we turn the light back on. Okay, that can actually turn the light back on to full if I'd like. But it is a bunch of gems.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Nice. Okay, good surprise, good surprise. This one's not as necessary as the other ones, but still pretty good.
Masterfully executed.
Pulling the Arbalest to the front means that even if I don't end up killing the Arbalest here, it's still really good. That said, the Arbalest still has a reasonable crit modifier. Yeah, the dot right now doesn't actually make any sense. Just go for the kill. Especially because I'm about to use that, and that was very, very likely to take out the enemy. It would have had to low roll its damage and not crit if it didn't want to kill that enemy in a single hit there. Okay, word reconstruct yourself for -1. Beautiful. I'm pretty sure the Crusader is going to act first. There's no reason for me to be sure that the Crusader was going to act first, actually.
And improvement.
Because I've only got 1 speed on the Crusader as well.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, we could need that Curio. Now I'll put the Disease Charm on someone. I mean, you've already got no dodge, so I'll just lower your dodge even further. Why have you got higher dodge? Right, because the light level. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay. Poke my head out and see if I can pick up this Curio. Knowledge Curio, I don't want it. There's a couple of the Curios that are just, like, basically traps. Kleptomania could trigger if I come back through this way, so I'll just pick this up now. Pump the light, and beautiful. Probably my final battle. Yeah, go for this one, because this one will then be shot by Dismas. Beautiful, which capitalizes on his increased crit chance. And then the first one in the first row, because of Reynard's extra damage against Unholy, that was going to be a kill regardless. Or very likely, at least. Okay, unfortunately we don't have a scout to work with here. Not particularly interested in extra stress from that. Here's our final shovel.
Stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Well, yikes. Hey, no surprises. Beautiful. Let's get out of here.
The great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
Ooh, Weapon Tinker. That's gonna make me feel less bad about upgrading Reynard's weapons. I do want to keep Reynard on the crew, despite the fact that...
Though long years may seek to separate them, action and consequence will invariably have their dreadful reunion.
Despite the fact that I don't want Crusaders on my roster, I will keep Reynard, just for the fact that I would really like to be able to take him to the final quest and get achievements with him. I'm unlikely to end up doing that, but I would like the option. You're Sickly Willed Foe, but you're Beast Slayer, Eldritch Slayer. You've got Bolster, you've got Rampart, you've got Bellow. I more want to give you Retribution Defender, have you have Crush, Rampart, Retribution Defender, or maybe Crush, Rampart, Bellow Defender. Crush, Rampart, Bellow, Defender. Yeah. Another Occultist who's an Eldritch Slayer. Yep. Night Blindness Arbalest. Arbalists aren't that great. Vestals, apparently, you can't really have enough of, so... Thank you, and thank you.
Pious and unrelenting.
complete more quests to unlock. Had to imagine that was going to be the case.
Make no mistake, we will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
We do want to get the first level of upgrades for these. At least so they're available. What do you want? You have no particular wants one way or another.
The pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
We'll pop you in the Abbey.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Unfortunately, the sanitarium isn't ready yet, so we can't lock anyone away to lock out some of the things like kleptomania. Quick draw is quite nice. Quick draw is quite nice, at least. Oftentimes, that is allowing me to knock someone out before they even have a turn in the front row. But that said, since the Crusader can't hit anyone past the front rows, makes him a little less interesting in general as a character for me to be using. Alright, we'll unequip all of our trinkets, sort them by rarity, and get ready to embark on our next mission. We're not going to go to the courtyard for a very long time, because the thing is, infection risk, in terms of there being the pests in other areas that give you Crimson Curse, that only starts after I go to the courtyard. The fact that I went to the courtyard so early, I mentioned this at the start of the episode, but I want to elaborate on it a little bit. The fact that I went there so early before and succeeded was actually bad. If I had got beaten back and the crocodile happened to, put me so close to the end of life that I retreated, that would have been better, because I wouldn't have triggered all of the horrible consequences of finishing the courtyard mission early. And I wouldn't have had, basically half of my roster at all times with the Crimson Curse. Lucky Dice is nice. Antiquarian Medallion I'm not particularly interested in. Diseased Herb for the Plague Doctor. It's definitely between these two. I want to go for the Lucky Dice because I do want to pick up a Jester as soon as I possibly get one and run a finale build. I kind of want to get more people offered to me, but at the same rate, that's really expensive in terms of deeds, especially considering we are going to start needing deeds for these.
The Forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
Alright, well, in between this and the next episode, I will set out my crew. I'll give a brief reasoning for why we've got that kind of crew going into the mission at the start of the next episode. Speaking of, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Darkest Dungeon. We've restarted the Raptopia estate, and it's off to a good start. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.